So, Henry.
So, Satwika.
Hi.
Hey, what is up?
How are you doing today?
I'm doing okay.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. That's my general basic answer to that question. Because it's not the worst or best day of my life, so okay is like a safe answer.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah.
And I hope the day only gets better
Oh,
with this,
well, thank you.
as we keep continue talking. And yeah, I mean, I want to start this podcast with a big thank you.
Oh,
to
you're
you.
welcome.
So I have enjoyed your company in class. So we go to acting class together, and I mean, you are the person who came to my mind when I wanted to have my first guest for my podcast. So yeah, thank you for making the time out.
No.
And and yeah, I mean, let's start with first of all a disclaimer from the both of us. This is not a self-improvement podcast at all. Like, if you're looking for growth, there's lots of stuff out there. Please go and make use of it. But this is just like two friends chatting about life, keeping it real and just having a good time and a chat with each other, getting to know each other better and all of that stuff. So yeah, hopefully you'll continue watching. Okay.
No personal growth.
No personal growth.
Yeah, I want to make sure that's really crystal
Throw it out
clear.
of the window, yeah.
Yeah, just buy a plant if you want to grow something.
Yeah, okay. So let's start with something like, what's on your mind today? Like, what are you thinking about? How's this weekend turning out to be?
Let's see. Well, I'm thinking about this podcast because it's the first time I've ever really done like a podcast type of thing. So yeah, so that's a new experience.
For sure, yeah.
Yeah, I also had home cooked Indian food for the first time today, so that's freshly on my mind.
Okay.
Yeah, very fresh.
Very fresh.
Yeah, it's been an okay week. I guess someone at work that I wasn't expecting to quit on Thursday at like 5 o'clock, so that kind of was like kind of a bit of a bummer because like they've worked there the whole time that I've worked there, and it's like kind of like, I guess, what some people might call a road dog.
Okay.
Your homie at work or whatever.
Oh, yeah. Work friends are important.
Yeah, so kind of does feel a little like it won't be the same without them around. But,
Yeah.
other than that aspect, the week has been pretty good,
Yeah. Yeah, these things just happen. And work friends are such an important part of,
You spend so much time of your life at work, so it's like,
Absolutely, I totally agree with that.
Too much time.
Too much time.
Sometimes,
Yeah. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
I hope you guys still keep in touch and
Yeah.
just like you do that thing after work, like
Yeah. Like I would like that. It's like I guess I know sometimes I might be bad about like doing that, but I do want to do that. Like, I don't know. I just feel like a lot of the jobs I worked, I've been thinking about it. Like, I think there's only 2 people that I really keep in touch with all the jobs I've had over the years. So it would be a bit of an anomaly for me to keep in touch, but I do want to keep in touch, and hopefully my introverted side doesn't stop me from doing that. But
I mean, the tighter the circle, the better, right?
Yeah. Somebody said that.
Okay. So I am from India. I mean, obviously.
What?
And so I have when I'm spending time with friends over here in the US, I often think about, hey, how was your childhood like, or how was it growing up in the US like, because I can share about how it's like growing up in India. I loved it, and I'm sure you have similar experiences. But yeah, first of all, where did you grow up?
The easy answer is Ohio. Like, I grew up in Enon, Ohio, and Springfield, Ohio, are a couple of places I lived when I was younger. My dad was in the Army, so we kind of moved around a little bit. So I was born in Texas. My brothers were born in Louisiana. And but he's from Ohio, so I spent most of my formative years in Ohio.
Okay.
Yeah, and I don't know, as a state, I don't know if I recommend it to people. It's okay, it's got some things, like, I guess I just don't, I don't miss it though, really. You know, like I guess I don't know. It's kind of weird. I've always felt like the current moment. I don't want to get accused of being an optimist here, but like that the current time in my life has always been like the best time of it. So like,
Wow.
yeah, even if there are bad things still, you know, but like it's
Yeah.
like, I guess I like where I'm at now than when I was as a youngster who knew no idea what the hell they wanted to do.
Yeah.
Now I'm just an adult that knows that nothing that he wants to do, but
Oh, I mean,
yeah.
but how was a typical happy day of your childhood? Like,
Typical
you know,
happy day. Like you know, probably just like playing around with other kids in the neighborhood. Like maybe like play some, you know, football or something like that. Like those were probably like childhood memories that were the best. Yeah, like because like I don't know, because like I had two brothers, so there's like three people there already. And you almost have a football team at that point, you know. But then just
Yeah.
like the neighborhood kids, yeah, like. I think that was probably the best thing about childhood, just playing around.
just playing around, just come from school and just
Yeah.
yeah, eat
Yeah.
a good meal and just
Eat a great meal.
yeah, just run
Yeah.
off and play. Wow, yeah.
Yeah.
See, very similar as I
Yeah.
guessed. Wow, okay, that's awesome. And you know, I mean, shifting gears. Yeah. I often like, you know, I reflect on my 33 years of existence, and you know, I think often like, was there an event in my life that kind of changed the way I think about things, or you know, how I perceive life? Like, was there any pivotal change or an event in your life that you feel like, wow, that was like the highlight, or that was like a really good, like, you know, turn of events in your life, or whatever? Like, you understand what I mean?
Yeah. I don't know, like maybe like it's kind of weird, like it's gonna sound like a weird thing to bring, but like maybe my parents getting divorced was kind of like it just was definitely a significant change, you know, in life, and like you know, that was probably like more of where I like discovered like I think like, you know, music and stuff, like first started tiptoeing into like some artistic stuff, I think was after they split, and like I bought a guitar which now just collects, it's not the same guitar, but but now the guitar just collects dust, so like I'm a very lazy artist. Sorry if Benji watches this, but I mean he sees the amount of work I bring to class lately, so
No,
Yeah.
you should give yourself some credit. Like,
Yeah.
you're incredible. So
yeah.
yeah, wow. What, like, that was actually something I wanted to ask you. How did you get in the arts? Like, was it as a result of the divorce that you kind of find?
Well, I think partially because it's weird, because like I don't feel like we really like, you know, I don't want to sound like my mom was like, but she didn't really like have us like watch a lot of TV, you know. So like when it was like us with a dad, I think we started watching more TV and stuff, and that was part of it. And then like getting into music and guitar, and I guess I was always like kind of like artistic and didn't really realize it, because I used to draw these like little monster kind of things when I was like younger. But this is gonna surprise you, I didn't like them, and I would give them away to my friend because they weren't good enough. Like always a bit of a perfectionist, I guess. But I think that kind of started like at least. Well, I guess I just always did kind of like have an artistic side, even if I didn't really know how to label that or would have been able to recognize that. Yeah, it was kind of always there, you know, and then I guess just transformed further as I got older and stuff too, but yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So from music, it kind of got devoted to acting, I guess.
Oh yeah, so like I
Yeah.
guess like, well, it kind of started like I wanted to be a director at a point, like,
Okay.
and like I went to school. Well, actually, so back in the day before we could just binge so easily on Netflix, like my brother, like I was working a security job where you just sit there all day doing nothing. Basically, it's just like if an alarm goes off, you call and make sure that they're okay, and like he'd give me these box set DVDs of things like I don't know, Buffy the Vampire Slayer and Lost, and so I think like starting to get into like like just consuming a lot of that stuff, and then also like getting more into movies and stuff kind of started me on what would become the acting path, like because I wanted to direct. I was like starting to get more into like I guess artistic indie films and stuff like that, and like Lost in Translation, I think, is one I remember that was kind of like early in this phase where like kind of like, oh, it'd be cool to make something like a little more like a piece of art than just like a, I don't know, standard movie. Not that there's any judgment, and
Yeah.
I definitely watched my fair share of good and bad movies, like but yeah, that kind of started it. And then but then how I got into acting was like when I was going to school for video production, is that I needed actors, so I ended up taking Benji's class at first to try to find people for my projects, and kind of stuck with the acting from there. Yeah.
Ah, wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and I guess like you know, it's funny because I do think like when I was younger that there were times that I like maybe had an interest in acting, but like I guess I just didn't feel like I saw people like me in movies, even though, you know, there's all types. Like I guess I just didn't feel like a typical white guy that looks like Brad Pitt or Tom Cruise or something. So it just didn't seem like a thing that could be something I could do. But you know, but I guess all these years later, somehow I circled around back to doing it.
Yeah, I mean, I think things have a way of happening at the right time for you or for me, like, you know, for a person, yeah, so I think we're doing it when we were supposed to do it, like, you know.
Yeah.
I never thought I would take up acting, and
Yeah.
sometimes I feel like, "Oh, what are you doing?" Like, and it was never like an option, you know, when I was growing up. So but I'm glad that
Yeah.
I'm doing this. It definitely feels great. Do you remember your first acting class, or?
Well, like I know that in like high school I took some sort of drama class, like did something, like I remember doing some sort of like monologue about some baseball player or something. I can't like, and I think I had to pretend I had a drink in my hand.
Okay.
But like outside of that, I don't think it was until I got into Benji's class really, and you know, I don't think as a young person it wouldn't even have occurred to me that there were acting classes either. That's like something like, I don't know, maybe it would have been different if I knew. Like it never occurred to me, oh, maybe you could go to classes for this and learn how to do it. Like just
yeah, I feel you, and I mean, and you know, the movies, how they show it, like, oh, I went for this drama class and it changed my life, and it doesn't really happen for most of us in real life, right? You just like stumbling through it, like, can I do it? Is it a feasible option, or like, you know? So it's a lot of like to and fro, and like questioning and sometimes self-doubt and all of that, right?
Yeah.
Like, do you relate to that? Like,
I've built my whole entire existence on self-doubt, so it's definitely something I'm no stranger to. And like, you know, I always had a hard place, like time figuring out what I wanted to do, and even now I'm happy with the job that I'm working, but it's like, could I really be doing this in 20 years? I don't know. Like, it's just hard to imagine, even though I don't like have a desire to stop doing it, but it's like, it's hard to imagine like flirting with senior citizenship or something and still doing it, or like, I don't know. Yeah, but like, always been indecisive. Like, I mean, I went to massage school. I like went to, art school. Like, took like general classes in college before I figured out that the directing thing sounded interesting. I've done all kinds of things, I guess, just because I definitely envy the people that just like, oh, I want to be a scientist, and they know from the get-go, and that's what they do. Like,
absolutely, me too. Yeah. That's. But I think also we end up having like people like us who are not too sure about what they want to do. Like even in our 30s, like you know, we are like
in our 30s. Thank you.
Like, I mean, early 30s, like much early 30s, but whatever, like, you know, I am still trying to find my path in the world, and it's scary. It's definitely scary because the narrative is like you should like have like so many things sorted by the time you hit 30, which is if you're living life, I think if you're living life the best way, like exploring things, it might not happen by the time you're 30. It might never happen, but I hope it does, like at some point. But that's a fun, I think, for people like us, like, because we kind of give ourselves that option to like explore, not stop like thinking. But I definitely envy people who know for sure what they want to do, like when they're like 15, which is crazy to me, like, right?
Are you 100% sure you really want to do that forever? Like I don't know, but maybe there's something about the exploring too, like that it's it's like you mentioned that maybe that's the price of like exploration, is that
Yeah.
you're always discovering new things. So of course, it's hard to feel like sure because like you're open to new possibilities. Maybe I don't know.
Yeah, of course, like, not forever, but then stumbling upon something, I just want to feel like, oh wow, this is what I was
Oh yeah.
born to do. Like,
Let me know if you find that. Yeah.
Yeah, hopefully,
Yeah.
hopefully it will happen. It's very, very difficult. I know it's very rare too, and very lucky to be able to do this. Honestly, like most of the time, circumstances don't allow us to kind of.
Sure.
Yeah, but anyway, I'm happy for us that we are doing this. And moving on to our next topic of discussion. Yeah, you know what? Let's move in the same direction. Do you have like a favorite movie or a favorite?
It's definitely tough to pick because
Yeah.
there's so many. But like I would say for a long time my favorite director was Paul Thomas Anderson, and he's done like The Master, Punch Drunk Love, Boogie Nights. Those are some of his. Yeah, I definitely recommend them. But like
Okay.
I guess I kind of got like as I've gotten older, I feel like I've gotten into more weirder or darker art kind of things. Like I feel like I missed my calling as a goth in high school. Like
Okay.
so a lot of like kind of like dark music like that. But as far as directors, like David Lynch is one I like, and he's just kind of weird and it's like surreal stuff. Maybe you're familiar, like
I think I've heard,
Yeah.
I've heard the name. Any
like Mulholland Drive is one, or Blue Velvet.
Blue Velvet? I think I've watched.
Yeah, that is the
your stage name.
the birth of why that is my name on. That's very weird too, because I just like one of my like hard drives I named Blue Velvet, and somehow it just seemed to take that from in the Zoom class. Like I never chose that, but it just
like,
automatically said Blue
populated?
Velvet. So, but yeah, Blue Velvet is indeed where that name comes from. It's from the David Lynch film. Yeah, but yeah, I guess I like any kind of art that's like experimental or weird or kind of independent kind of stuff. Yeah, that's kind of up my speed. And I guess I'm like into horror a lot too. I guess just because the dark stuff. I guess again, like I used to think that like I only liked things that had horror elements, and like maybe like in spite of like, because I'm not like a big gore person or anything, but I do seem like I think there's enough evidence now that like I do like horror. Yeah.
Yeah, and it like I can never like watch the whole horror movie because I get like so scared.
Oh, yeah.
You know what happened? Like before, like the movies that when we were kids, the horror movies would be like, oh, at night some ghosts are coming or something is happening. But now they show it in the daytime, and it's like even more scary because you're like, it can happen anytime, anywhere in stark daylight.
Yeah.
Like it's crazy. Yeah.
Horror doesn't ever punch out on the clock. It's always working.
Wow. And what's even more scary is like when they're based on like true events, like these I mean, I think it's on Discovery or National Geographic. Like there's a team of people who would go and kind of try and record some paranormal activities in an old church or an old house or an old somewhere, like, and they find these places and they have like, it's almost like a documentary, and a documentary can be like more scary than a movie because like I mean, according to them, it has happened in real life, or it is happening. It's super scary. Yeah.
Well, sometimes real life is scarier than a horror movie anyway. Like, some of the things people do in real life is just like, geez, that could be scarier than like.
I'll take a ghost over. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Do you believe in ghosts? Like, do you believe
Coastal?
Ghost.
Or ghost? It's weird. Like because like I guess I don't, but I guess. I don't know. I guess I'm kind of in the middle, maybe. I'm thinking about it because, like, part of me is just like the universe is so big and infinite that I guess who knows what could or could not exist. Like stuff like aliens too. Like maybe like it feels weird to think that we would be the only ones in this huge universe, but at the same time, I guess I don't know that I really do believe in ghosts. Like sometimes there are things that are a little spooky where like it could make you like think about it, but. I don't know. Do you believe in it? Not to put you.
No.
No, I don't want to put the host on the spot here.
Not at all. I mean, this is just a chat, and I actually experienced. I don't know if they were paranormal, but then there was this house that I was renting out. Once I used to always get like really scared at night in that particular house. So I don't know why that happened, but I knew that I had to leave and find another home because it would just feel weird come nighttime. It would just be like little like. Have you ever had any experiences like any?
I don't know if I have. I mean, like my ex-girlfriend, she used to have like, I think of this. She had like a dog, and there'd be like this little spot in the ceiling where there's like nothing, but he would always like come up and like sniff like. Just like if he was sniffing up here, and
my God.
that might have been the closest because it's just like what I give you the chills. It's just like what is up with that? Because he just like daily he just kind of like go up and like but it'd be like up here like you just look there's nothing, but like for some reason so that would be maybe the closest I can think of, and there might be other examples that are just not coming to mind. But but that one's like was kind of weird just because he just seems so fixated with like what there's like nothing on the wall.
So interesting.
Yeah, so so maybe he was tapped in. I've heard I work at a cancer center, and I think like it used to be like an orphanage or something, and like there are people that have joked that like it's like maybe the orphans are still haunting this place or something like.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I guess there's like an energy thing sometimes, like is. I worked at a hospital where I was like working in the coffee shop, and like our storage room, just the way it looked, it kind of looked like it used to be like a morgue.
Oh my God.
And it was so weird, but there was something about that room, it just felt like eerie. So I think that's the closest I've gotten to paranormal, is just like feelings of something that's just like feels a little strange, but I don't think I've had anything super explicit to where I'm like, oh yeah, that was definitely, yeah.
Wow. Oh wow. You know.
Yeah, I gave you chills with the puppy.
And this is like so fun. Like it's like, you know, when you like sit together like, you know, friends, and you're just talking about have you had any real life experience with ghosts. So maybe we should like have another podcast on it.
Yeah, we could definitely we could do a ghost segment at some point. I'll have to like look in the memory banks and see what I can remember. Like I don't think I've ever been asked about ghosts before. That's but it's so fun. I'm open to ghosts. And it sounds like you're a little more of like you've had some more experience than I have.
And you know, like, and also I think you and I both have like really hyperactive imaginations. Sure. So like if we see X, our mind makes it 10x. I feel so that also could be a reason, because at times like, you know, when it's like very quiet, I can like just hear somebody running, and maybe somebody is running out there, but then I'm like, oh my God, like, you know, like you get a little scared when there's absolute silence, and then you just suddenly hear a noise which consistently like increases in pace, and you're like, is somebody running towards me? But anyway, we'll talk about that later.
That's for the ghost cast.
That's for the ghost cast. Yeah. I like the name Ghost Cast.
Yeah, all right. You'll have to subscribe to that one, audience, for that. Like that's a Patreon only.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Okay. Cool. So yeah, let's talk about Denver. Like, is there a favorite spot in Denver that you like? Your favorite place in Denver? It might not be a restaurant. It could be anything. Rather, like a bench in a park is also fine. Like, do you have like a favorite place in Denver?
My bed's pretty good place. You know, there's like a restaurant called Sliceworks that I like a lot. They have like pizza that's pretty good, and but it's gonna sound weird. I actually go there for the pasta, but like, or I did before I was trying to like change my diet. But they'll give you like little like a slice of pizza as like an appetizer, so you kind of get the best of both. But I mean, I would say you go there and you get like a pizza and a pasta, and you take whatever you can't eat home. Maybe you get 2 pizzas, eat some pizza and some pasta, and you take the rest home. Like. That's a good place. Yeah, like that's probably the number one. Like, I guess if it's food, I can be convinced to consume. I guess it's lucky here in Aurora. I feel like there's so many like, you know, different ethnicities and stuff. Like they've got like everything here, like Korean food and Indian food and stuff. Like a Soul Barbecue I would go to before, and like I like to eat.
Oh yay!
Unfortunately for my waistline.
No, I love people who love to eat, and I mean, I think it's one of the most pleasurable things about life, like, you know,
I would agree.
experiencing good food, right?
Yeah, because like I know we've talked off podcast about some of my like dietary stuff. It's like there was a point where I'm just like, am I ever gonna enjoy food again? Like it just feels like it's getting so restrictive. But
It will
but I
happen,
guess
yeah.
lately I've been eating, like able to find joy in eating, so that's good. Like
Yeah.
had my first cookie in like a month and a half the other day. So
Wow,
that,
good
yeah.
for you. And I think one cookie in a month is fine.
Yeah, I think I'm doing okay with
Yeah.
if it, at that consumption rate. 12
Yeah.
cookies a year, some people do
12
that 20 minutes. I mean, if you gave me some Oreos and a glass of milk and a spoon and I could just like soak the Oreos, I could definitely finish half of that. But
Yeah.
one cookie a month is a little more
Maybe next
responsible.
podcast. We
Okay,
can, like,
deal.
Yeah.
Well,
okay. Cool.
You bring the Oreos, I'm in.
No, I'll make that happen. And yeah, so do you have like a favorite dessert or a favorite food?
Oh, geez, ugh.
It's a very tough question.
No, it is a tough question. If we're going desserts, I think well, the Oreo and the milk thing is good. I like ice cream is good. I think cheesecake is probably my favorite thing for a dessert though. Like
Really? Oh.
yeah, I would have a hard time saying no to cheesecake in
Okay.
any like in any capacity. Like that's probably the number one thing. Anything with a glass of milk too. It always makes a dessert better to have some milk.
Yeah.
Yeah, favorite foods.
Pizza?
Pizza, you know, I'm not as obsessed. Like I like it, but like, you know, I
You
guess.
don't dream about it. You're not
Yeah.
craving it. Okay.
No, I'd be like, I guess like as I'm again on the diet thing, like I really was craving these spicy ramen noodles because like my coworkers were buying these instant noodles and making them at work, and I'm just like looking at them like with such desire the noodles. Like, so I guess that's when I really like noodles, pasta, rice, like.
Yay!
Most
rice.
carbs. I'm not as obsessed as bread on some people, but
Mm.
all the other carbs, give me them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Rice. Wow. Okay.
yeah, rice is for sure.
Okay. And is there any work that you're doing that you'd like to share with us? Like any work that you are actively working on that you want to share, and something that we should, keep a
Geez,
lookout
like,
for.
I mean,
or-
like, well, I have a. Oh my gosh, I have a TikTok account where I just make weird, moody, creepy videos. It could be like, I don't know, like. It started because I wanted to like do stuff like kind of like dark short films like that David Lynch director I made, and it just kind of morphed into this other thing. And like a lot of times now it's just kind of like there was a time I was doing a video a day, and it was like when you're churning them out that quickly, the quality, like, there's only so much time you can put into them sometimes. But I've kind of like been a little looser now. Like now it's like every 2 days, but but yeah, I just try to like, I guess that side that likes the goth stuff, like it's kind of like an expression of that on that channel.
Interesting.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm gonna link your TikTok account.
I'll have to warn
podcast.
people because it might offend some people. The name is at Jesus Saves 666.
Okay.
But like it's not an anti-religious thing. Because like I actually started this channel with my ex-girlfriend, and like when we were talking about, we wanted to think of a name that just kind of felt like it communicated like just creepy, weird, or dark and moody videos, and then like that just kind of, I blurted that out, and like she's like, that's got to be the name, and then I'm like, I was a little uncomfortable about it because I did grow up with like some like going to church and stuff, so it kind of made me a little uneasy, and then she's like, unless you could think of a better name, that's the name, so that is the
Just
name.
stuck. You're
It's
very
stuck.
good with coming up with names, I've noticed. Like even your
Oh, yeah?
Zoom acting account, or like you're
Oh,
very
yeah?
good with
Oh, thank you, thanks.
That's a skill.
It doesn't feel like I'm good at it, but if the outside world appreciates it, I guess that's good, yeah.
No, it's just a lot of fun, let's end this short podcast with something.
All right.
Like, what is the best advice you have gotten, and
What is the best advice I've
or
ever
something
gotten?
you'd like
Or-
to tell your younger self, like whatever you choose to talk about.
Jeez. Well, like, younger self. Oh man, I guess part of me would wish I would have found like art stuff maybe a little quicker.
Me too. Yeah.
That would have been good. But like, and like, I don't know, because you know, it's easy to be hard on yourself too, but then like I guess you got to remember to be kind on yourself.
Yeah.
Like so, like I could be hard on myself on certain things, but I guess like it's like an, you know, it's life is a never-ending. Oh, it does end actually. Spoiler alert. But like it's like a, you know what I mean? Like you're always working and growing. It's never like you probably like.
Yeah.
It's not like tomorrow you and I'll just be like we're finished. We hit the peak.
Yeah.
It's like there's always like growth. I know we said this was a no growth podcast, but and I stand by that. But in terms of like learning about
Work
yourself,
and- yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, I guess like you know when I was younger, I tended to like you know fall for these women that were my friends, and then like it was like they were never interested, and like I think
Come on.
no, I'm serious. Like no, I'm serious. Like I promise you, I'm not making that up. But like I think if I could tell myself now just how much better it is, I think to meet someone that you don't have any like history with, like I had a lot more success going that way than like I don't know, being friends with someone for 2 years and then like, I kind of like you or whatever, and then be like, oh,
Henry.
that's great, you know. I think it's better, like, and I'm sure there are some people that have like had that work out for them. It never worked out for me, so I just think it's like, you know, better like if you're like, I don't know, say you see someone over there. Not that I'm very good at just approaching people at the bars or whatever, but like I think it's better to start like with someone you don't know, in my experience, you know, than like someone you've been friends with a long time. But so that's my advice to young Henry, like discover David Lynch and The Cure quicker. Like moody 80s music.
What do you think?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
awesome. Thank you. You've been a wonderful
Oh, you're welcome.
podcast guest.
Yeah, and
yeah.
it is it does feel like an honor that you thought of me for this first. I do want to thank you for that.
Thank you.
I'm terrified about like my speaking, so hopefully I did okay for you. But
You did amazing,
Yeah.
and I mean we talked about so many things, and
Yeah.
you know I mean it's so fun. Like it always happens when we are talking. Like you somehow make the conversation so much more interesting, and you like we talked about. I didn't know that we are gonna talk about horror, and we did that.
oh
and
yeah,
it was so
yeah.
fun.
I didn't even know either actually. So it's yeah.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah, of course.
Okay.